Shalom, shalom, everybody out there on the coming board. Just trying to prepare something real quick. Look at this. That shit ain't that long ago, man. You know what I mean? Fuckers, man. Finna get ready to do them in, finna get ready to hang them, you know what I'm saying? They got Jake looking, man. You fucking, devil's got a lot to pay for, man. But, yeah, man. It kind of, okay. All right, shalom, shalom. We the Brothers of Great Millstone, Church of Birmingham, Alabama. As always, want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Yeah, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, that would be the correct name of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also want to give double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, much due honors and respect to the sincere brethren out there laboring in His work, as well as you believers out there, you know, amongst the nation of Israel, you brothers and sisters, the Akim and Aqua, that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, the title of this sitting right here is going to be, you know, Jacob and Esau and that struggle that continues, you know, that struggle in the womb that continues to this very day. You know, we're going to answer an age-old question, man. You know, where you have a lot of Jakes, they can't digest the idea of why the so-called white man hate them so much, man. But guess what? We can go to the humble beginnings of that hatred, man. We can go to the source of that hatred. Now, the motivation, if you will, behind this lesson, you know, if you have a feel for what's going on throughout the landscape of Israel right now, amongst the various camps, different brothers, touching on the new face of terror, pretty much, and the new face behind this whole coronavirus, right? Well, the so-called white man is beginning to deflect the blame, because that's all that is, man. This man is going to blame you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans for this whole coronavirus thing. And they already doing it. You know, they saying that you Jakes out there is not honoring the curfew, you know, the social distances, and this is contributing to the spike in the numbers, which we know that's all BS, man. You know, all these different hospitals, man, they empty, man. So if the hospital is empty, then how are you taking a number? How are you getting statistics? You know, come on, man. Esau is a goddamn liar. Matter of fact, let's start off with that. The father of lies.
Oh, yeah, God.
Okay? It's woven in this man's DNA to lie, man. Okay, if you don't believe me, go into this man's history books. It's tainted, man. It's shrouded in deception. You know, it's murky. It's not clear. You know, the different nations, he turned everything upside down. He's set a covering cat veil over the world. All right? So everything this man touched, he taints, man. And the overtone of everything the so-called white man published is all centered around lies. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, this John chapter 8, St. John 8 and 44. Ye are of your father the devil.
Yep.
The lust of your father you would do. He was a murderer from the beginning.
Yeah, he was a murderer from the beginning, which goes all the way back to who Cain. All right, Kwayan, which that word Cain translates to weapon. You think it's a coincidence that the so-called white man feel entitled to have a damn Second Amendment? He feels like it's a right to bear arms? Because he's Cain, man. All right? So the scripture says he was a murderer from the beginning. Go ahead.
He said he was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth.
Yeah, he abode not in the truth. When you go into the word abode, it means to lodge or stay, abide. So this man couldn't stay in the truth. All right? Go ahead.
He says abode not in the truth because there is no truth in him.
There's no truth in this goddamn devil, man. This whole corona, you got to ask yourself, right? You got, for an example, they ain't giving out religious exemptions out on the West Coast and different shit like that. So they thing is like this, right? They more concerned with your health than with the money. All of a sudden, the so-called white man who have raped, robbed, pillaged the entire planet Earth, all right, left nothing but bloodshed in his wake. Now all of a sudden, he more concerned with your health than with money, man. You know? Which we know is a more sinister plan behind this devil, man. He's looking to crash the American dollar. He's looking to transition over into the New World Order. Which, hey, man, when you do the countdown And the elder Kazak put a post up, and it says something resonated with me. Ever since they saw that chariot coming, they put their foot on the pedal, man. You know? So they know that Yahweh Shai is coming. That's a fulfillment of Revelation, the 12th chapter and the 12th verse. All right, this devil having but a short time. All right, go ahead.
For he is a liar and the father of it.
Right, he's a liar and the father of it. Meaning this man actually is, he is the driving force behind lies. He actually created, he the prototype, you know. You know how somebody create and invent the damn microwave? This nigga invented the lie, man. All right, Yahweh Shai Shai created him to spring forth lies. It's a part of his DNA. It's a part of his makeup. It's woven in his very fabric, man. So what you're witnessing right now, you can't trust. You can't trust this devil. All right, you got something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This Psalms 144 and 8, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood.
Read that again.
It says, whose mouth speaketh vanity.
Right, their mouth speak of vanity, meaning it's vain, it's empty, it's vain. You know? And their mouth symbolizes their laws and legislations and their rhetoric. Case in point, the media. Right now you got the media that came up with these magical, like the Apostle Gabas said, the media is the so-called white man's magical wand. All of a sudden these devils got statistics, you know? And we're going to show you in the spirit where this thing is what Esau is doing, and his lies is pretty much bringing truth out. Because you got people out there, Israelites, those amongst the circumcised who know that they're Israelites, who don't believe that the so-called natives and Latin tribes is Israelites. You know, these all so-called Negro Israelites. Well, Esau's rhetoric is proving that we the Israelites, because we're going to show you, we're going to bring out some information where this man is lumping not only the so-called Negroes, but as well as the Latin tribes together in this whole coronavirus thing. See? And it goes back, and we're going to show you through the spirit that this is nothing new. This is how the so-called white man has always played Jacob. That's why he's known as the accuser. All right, go ahead.
It says, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood.
And their right hand is a right hand of falsehood, meaning on their best day, it's centered around falsehood, man. Even when they attempt to tell the truth, it's falsehood. Case in point, when you look up certain words, you go into certain information, they'll give you the truth, but you better believe them devils going to throw that lie in them, man. Why? Because their right hand, at their best, you know, at best, they're going to, it's falsehood. All right? So you got some?
No.
You got some up?
Yeah, come.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms 52 and verse 2. It says, thy tongue deviseth mischiefs.
Right, thy tongue deviseth mischief, man. Okay? This man is mischievous. You don't, this is nothing more than a mischievous plot, okay, by the so-called white man. And now we're in a time where this man is beginning to demonize Israel. And we've been telling you that for years, man. Starting with our elders and the apostles, man. Okay? Hey, this devil know that he has but a short time, and he's not going to play it off any longer, man. He's going to pretty much wage war on the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, man. And this is how he always got down. Thus the title of this sitting, Jacob versus Esau. The struggle in the womb continues, man. All right? And we're arch enemies. There's no way you can patch this thing up, man. There's no way you could quell or curb that tension. Matter of fact, give me, can the Ethiopian change the spot? All right, continue up.
It says, like a sharp razor working deceitfully.
Yeah, working deceitfully, man. You know? So give me what you got real quick.
This is Jeremiah. Let's see, Jeremiah chapter 23.
10 and 23.
Okay.
Or 13 and
Oh,
20.
it's 13. Okay, yeah.
13 and 23.
Yeah, this is Jeremiah chapter 13. And
so it's nothing you can do to rehabilitate the so-called white man. Give a damn how tight you is with your coworker. Y'all went out on lunch a couple of times, probably shot around the pool, had some drinks. That's the devil. That's your arch enemy, man. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Jeremiah 13 and 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then ye may also do good that are accustomed to do evil.
Right, so you can't change the so-called white man. It's a part of his DNA. It's a part of his makeup. So with that, let's get going to this information.
What you want to
first, let's get from the Boston Globe.
The Boston Globe,
And no, all thing we got to do is read the headline, and that'll be enough, all right, just to set the stage.
Kind. This is from the BostonGlobe.com.
When did this come out?
April 7, 2020.
April 7th. That's
Let's see.
yesterday.
Yesterday. Yep.
Like fresh off the press, man. All right, this is current news. All right, this is what the so-called white man is pushing out. All right, go ahead.
It says coronavirus may be hitting harder in Black and Latino communities.
Read that again, huh?
It says coronavirus may be hitting harder in Black and Latino communities.
So coronavirus might be hitting harder in Black and Latino. Why is that the narrative? I'm going to tell you why. Because they're getting ready to wage war on our people, man. Now, if you know anything about the so-called white man and how he demonized his opponent, if you will, before he actually waged war on you, he paint a certain picture of you. He create a narrative. Case in point, Bin Laden or the Taliban or Al Qaeda.
Yep.
You know, he'll paint this boogeyman to justify him, you know, going to war against him, man. So right now, that's what he's doing. He's painting this picture of Jake, you know, being the cause of really a military. This is really a military affair. Why you think there's troops coming in? See how these devils putting this thing together, man? This coronavirus is not just just some, in the wind, all right, flash in the pan, man. There's a more sinister, there's a method to this madness, if you will. So this coronavirus, I went into a video where these devils are pretty much, and these army researchers is coming up with they administrating tests on animals to come up with a vaccine, all right, which we know that buzzword, you know, a vaccine, right, for the coronavirus. But you got to ask yourself, what the hell the military doing conducting these tests, man? Because they have made the narrative a war on the coronavirus. That's what it's going to end up being. Like you hear the war on terrorists, it's going to be a war on coronavirus. And when any war, it got to be an opponent. It got to be, a resistor. So that's who he's painting the picture to be. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Read that again.
Kind. It says coronavirus may be hitting harder in Black and Latino communities.
Right, so Yahweh Shemel Shah is showing you, man. All right? We've been telling you, and the Lord, hey, once all hell break loose and Jake get jacked up, we're not going to pity him. Because not only are we pushing the word, but the Lord is showing heavenly signs. You know, he just had the pink moon, which was the brightest moon. They said it's going to be the brightest moon of this year, man. But according to the scriptures, moon, that's a sign. That's something. Matter of fact, give me Genesis 1:14. Because when you go into the definition for that pink moon, it means rebirth or refreshing. So guess what? That's a balance. It's a rebirth for us. We about to go into new territory, charted territory, uncharted, should I say. And the so-called white man is looking to rebirth his society. You know, in the form of this new rebirth. So the Lord set up a sign to show you, man. You know, a warning from the heavens, if you will. All right, so give me that real quick.
Genesis 1:14. The power said, let there be light in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day and the night.
Yep.
And let them be for signs and for seasons.
See, and let them be for signs and for seasons. So the moon is not up there for decoration. All right? Go ahead.
It says, and for days and years, it said, and let them be for the lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And the powers made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and made stars also. Right.
So the point is, these lights are set up for signs and seasons, and in particular the moon. You finna get something?
Surah 43.
Yep, go ahead, get that.
Yeah, this is Surah 43, and 6. It said, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of time.
See, a declaration of time, man. All right, go ahead. And that's the spirit that you got to alert, right? Can't make this stuff up. Got an alert from the Elder Kazak. He put up a video of the pink moon, an omen to the elect. Which, again, that proves that word, when you go into the word, we go into the meaning of the pink moon, it translates to rebirth. And that's what you're witnessing. You're witnessing a rebirth. All right, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is pretty much matching the reset button, man, on things. And that's going to be a change of the guard. And Esau know that. And this man going to go out tooth and nails. You got to remember, what's this man blessing? The sword. So his instincts is going to kick in, man. All right? So we read that. Now, now let's, matter of fact, before you go into the other article, which I want to go ahead and get that out the way, the other article. You got something else?
No.
Man? Okay, before you get there, give me Revelation 12 and 10.
Okay.
All right?
This Revelations chapter 12 and 10. Yeah, okay, kind of. Revelation 12 and 10. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed.
Yeah, and that's where we at in the process, man. Now is the time of salvation, man. Okay, in the kingdom of the anointed, which is Yahweh Shah, which the elect will be joint heirs, and those who are worthy to partake in the first resurrection, which would be the elect as well as the 1/3 men, women, and children out there that's destined to see the salvation of our Lord. We're going to see that, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, for the accuser of our brethren.
Oh, for the what?
Accuser of our brethren.
For the accuser of our brethren, which would be Esau, go ahead.
Is cast down.
Is cast down. And that's where we at. We're in the time when this man is being cast down. All right. This society, really, when you think about what Esau doing right now, this is a gamble. This is like the last all bets in type of thing. They said, look, we got to crash. If this don't work, it's all or nothing. We got to crash the dollar. We got to go hard. You know, this is all or nothing for Esau, man. Yep. So what you witnessing is this man being cast down. Matter of fact, can you look that up in the blue letter real quick? You got a precept up?
No.
Okay. 12 10. Go to Revelation 12 and 10 real quick. While he getting that.
You want to get that word accused? Right?
Get that word accused. Let's see what it give us.
This is the word.
What he already got.
Accuser.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Categorio.
Strong's G 2723. Categorio.
Alright, and it says to accuse before a judge, to make an accusation.
Yep, to accuse before a judge, to make an accusation, go ahead.
Of an extrajudicial accusation.
Mm-hmm. Now click on the word for accusation.
Accusation is a statement by one person asserting that another person or entity has done something improper.
Right, and that's what they're doing, man. All right, go ahead.
The person who makes the accusation is an accuser.
Yep.
While the subject against whom it is made is the accused. It says, whether a statement is interpreted as an accusation relies on the social environment in which it is made.
Right. So, you going against the law. Give me real quick. Exodus out. Exodus 23. And give me Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah the 54th chapter. Go ahead.
Exodus 23
and 1. Yep.
It says, Exodus 23 and 1, thou shalt not raise a false report.
Right, thou shalt not raise a false report. And this is nothing new. That's why a part of coming into this truth is having a feel for history. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah, we're going to take a glimpse into history. We're going to show you that the so-called white man, right before Rome eventually fell, right, they did the same thing, man. You know? They pretty much raised a false report against Israel in attempts to wage war against them. So there's nothing new under the sun pertaining to Romans, the 15th chapter. And the 4th verse, the thing that was written the 4th time, was written for our learning. So this is pretty much a guide, all right? This is the manuscript. This is the blueprint where we can read and we can gauge and we can, anticipate what's coming down the pipe, man. And this devil is showing his horns, man. All right? So, yep, go ahead.
It said, "Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness."
Con. All right. Now,
That was 55.
yep, Isaiah 54 and 17.
Yeah, come this is the book of Isaiah 54 and verse 17. It says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper,
Mm-hmm.
and every tongue that shall rise against thee."
See, and every tongue that shall rise against thee, right? So Esau, this is the beginning stages of Esau coming up against us. Real quick, can you give me, what's that? Psalms 60, no, Psalm 58. Psalm 58, and I believe it's 6. Give me that real quick.
This is the book of Psalm.
Because before a dog can bite you, he got to show his teeth, man. You know? Before a wolf attack, that's what they do. They show their teeth, right?
Yep.
Before a predator attack, they show their teeth. So in this case, that teeth would be their laws, you know? So go ahead and give me that real quick.
God, this is Psalm 58 and 6. "Break their teeth, O Most High, in their mouth."
Right, and what's their teeth? Their military might. Go ahead.
It said, "Break their teeth, O Most High, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord."
Right, and that young lion would be Esau. So go back here, huh?
Come this Isaiah 54 and 17 again.
Mm-hmm.
"No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper,
Mm-hmm.
and every tongue that shall rise against thee."
And every tongue, see, so before they actually can attack, they're going to accuse you. They're going to charge you. All right? So that's that tongue, which is in the form of the legislations and laws. Every tongue that rises up against thee, go ahead.
"In judgment
In judgment, see, accusing us, judgment, go ahead.
thou shalt condemn."
And that's what we're doing, man. So the Spirit of the Lord is on us to condemn you. We pretty much caught you with your hand in the cookie jar, man.
That's right.
Because years back, Esau would have got away with this, man. You know, Esau would have created this narrative, everybody would have followed suit, and we would have just been persecuted. Now the Spirit of the Lord is resisting it. This is a part of that standard. You know?
Yep.
Yep, so go ahead.
Continuing on, it says, "This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness."
Hey, Shalom, hey, the water for that. Yep, go ahead.
It says, "This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord."
Right, this is the heritage. This is our heritage. This is our right. You know? This is, and this righteousness is of Yahweh Shemel Shah. So it's our right, being the prophets, to condemn Esau. You know? So go ahead, you got something?
Yeah, going back, we caught their hand in the cookie jar. This Job 5 and 14. "They meet with darkness in the daytime."
Right, and what's the daytime? Right now. Here it is when knowledge, this light is on full blast, and these devils trying to meet in the dark. Here it is, this broad light, and they found one shadow, and they're trying to gather in the shadow. We looking dead at them, man. That's what it means when you're meeting in the darkness, in the secret meeting, in the daytime. This is the time where the light is burning, man. Go ahead.
It said, "They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night."
Right, and grope symbolizes reaching. So they're reaching right now, man. When you're in the dark and you're groping, you're trying to reach, and whatever you can grab onto, you know.
Yep.
But that's what they're doing, man. This coronavirus, these faulty numbers. You know, they got these statistics. You know, everything's shaky. Nothing is adding up. Now all of a sudden, out the blue, it's within a 48-hour window. All of a sudden, the so-called Latin and Negroes is the forerunners of the coronavirus, man. Are you kidding me? See, y'all see what you're dealing with, man? So now y'all see why we were so vehement, adamant about calling this man the goddamn devil. People thought we was crazy, man. They thought we was a bunch of disgruntled, bunch of so-called Negroes on the corner venting our frustration towards the so-called white man and using the Bible as, the crutch. But now you see, man, that's why the Lord said he's angry with the wicked every day, man. That's why the scriptures talk about being vexed with the filth. Give me that, too. Give me that real quick. Was you have something?
Yeah, I got something real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Get that first.
Yeah, get that real quick.
All right, kind of.
This should be vexing to you, man. The lies of the so-called white man. You see, we're in a time where those lies are being overthrown. Matter of fact, give me something real quick. 2 Ezra 6 and start at 27. Go ahead.
2 Peter 2 and 8. It says, for that righteous man dwelling among them.
Right, and that's symbolic to us. We got to dwell amongst this place, man. You know how vexing, man. You know how many days, you know, you daydream, you know, you had a fantasy of putting somebody to death, man. Go ahead.
It said, for that righteous man dwelling among them, and seeing and hearing, vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds.
Their unlawful deeds. Go ahead.
I think that was the one.
Oh, that was it?
Oh,
Okay.
you want to dance with the filthy conversation?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want.
All right, kind of like let me jump up. 2 Peter 2 and 7. It said, and delivered just like vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
And that's where we come in. We vex with the filthy conversation of the wicked, and that's these lies, man. All right, that would be considered filth. You know, lies. That's why when you read Revelation, the 14th chapter, where it said there was no guile in our mouth, people think guile is talking about cuss words. No, guile is talking about deceit.
Yeah, that's it.
So deceit translates to filthy, man. You know? So go ahead right here.
This is the book of 2 Ezra 6 and verse 27. It says, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched.
Whoa, and deceit shall be quenched. And this deceit of the so-called white man has been like a wildfire, man, which have laid hold on the planet Earth. This man and his pursuit of power and his reign of terror, it was all driven by lies. Of course, we don't even got to mention the bloodshed, but it was accompanied with lies and deceit, man. So now the deceit is being quenched. You got what you got? St. John. Give me St. John 7 and 38 real quick. Read that one more time, huh?
This is the book of 2 Ezra 6 and verse 27. It says, for evil shall be put out.
Evil shall be put out. Yeah, if it's an inferno and you got the fire department, what's the term used? The fire was put out. All right, go ahead.
It says, and deceit shall be quenched.
And deceit shall be quenched. Okay? Now, how is this deceit being quenched? Are we going out there physically? Is we going out there and we physically... Salaki. Is we going out there physically, you know, exerting ourselves, you know, thrusting ourselves to the forefront, and externally and carnally, putting out the lies of the so-called white men, snatching them up? No, man. Something as subtle as this word is what the Lord used to quench the fiery darts of the wicked. All right? Go ahead, give me that.
This St. John 7:38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said.
See, this is our power source. Go ahead.
Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Rivers of living water. So this word going out through these YouTube channels, which that's a buzzword, you know, like you have channels of water.
Yep.
You know, these streams. Well, this is quenching that deceitful tongue of the so-called white man. Read that again, huh?
This 2 Ezra 6 and 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched.
And we just read how that deceit going to be quenched through this word. Continue.
I'm trying to look for the page I had.
Okay, Con, you did it right
okay,
here.
Con. Who did it? 2 Ezra 6.
Yep, and 27. Read 27 again, and we go over to 28.
Okay, Con.
It says, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched.
It says, and the truth, Salaki.
Yep.
And the truth, which have been so long without fruit.
Right, and the truth which have been so long without fruit.
Salaki, let me jump up. It says, and for faith it shall flourish.
Yep.
Corruption shall be overcome.
Right. Oh, faith it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. Corruption embodies Esau. It might as well should have said, and the so-called white man shall be overcome.
Yep.
Because that's who that corruption is.
Yep.
Okay? Go ahead, read it again.
It says, as for faith it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared.
Shall be declared. Hey, look up that word declared real quick.
Come on.
So right now, what you're witnessing is monumental, man. You know? And even Esau is taken by this. Really, Esau is taken by this more than anybody else because Jake make mockery of it. You know, Jake's simple. They don't take it serious. You know, and even if you appear to be deep or on some level, your ceiling is you in a part of the black conscious community or some shit. You know? Or you are more. All right? Or you into sports, or you subscribe to the so-called white man and his rhetoric. The one who really take us serious, who is taken by this declaration right here, is Esau, man. Because when you go into what was that, the Willie Lynch? Man, that was a well thought out plot, man. That was a very intricate plot, you know. Well, it was some who said it would have took a miracle for us to come out of that design, you know. So that's why we know this was divine intervention, that the Lord stepped in and woke us up. That messed Esau head up. They thought we was gone, man. They thought we was wrapped into music and being sport. They thought our ceiling was being the next Michael Jordan. That was Esau trapping you, man. And you thought you made it. Mama, I made it because you were the first round pick in the draft. And Esau thought they had us, man. They didn't see this coming. They didn't know that how about Shemal Shah was going to work this miraculous work right here, man.
That's right.
All right? Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, this is the word declare.
Right, because it said, because the truth shall be declared, right? Go ahead.
From Merriam-Webster Dictionary, it says, to make known formally, officially, or explicitly.
Explicitly, go to that word. That sound, you know.
Explicit.
Explicit. It got, you know what I mean?
Yeah, God.
It got a certain feel to it.
Alright, explicit. It says,
Straight to the point or something like that.
yeah, kind of. Yep. It says, explicit. It says, fully revealed.
Woo! Fully revealed. Give me, what's that? 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Go ahead.
It says, fully revealed.
Fully revealed. We're in a time of revelation, man. The revealing of secret things. Matter of fact, give me Luke 8 and 17 real quick. Go ahead and do what you got.
Because in 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there be it's like it's in that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
Right, and that happened to us. We had to fall away as a people. We lost our way. All right? Go ahead.
It says, in that man of sin be revealed.
Oh, and that man of sin be what?
Revealed.
Be revealed. Okay? It didn't say the devil in the sense of some guy in a damn red spandex suit, man. It said that man of sin be revealed. We in that time. Man, you would be hard-pressed to come up against us now and challenge the idea of so-called white man not being the devil, man.
For real.
All this information out on this, man. So that's a fulfillment of prophecy, man. That man of sin shall be revealed. Read that definition again for explicit.
It says, a fully revealed, or expressed without vagueness. It says,
without vagueness, without any emptiness. Go ahead.
It says, leaving no questions.
Leaving no questions, man. Fully persuaded. Go ahead.
It said, leaving no question as to meaning or intent.
Woo!
That's it.
See that? Now go ahead and give me what you got real quick.
This Luke 8 and 17. It said, for nothing is secret.
Yep, for nothing is secret. Go ahead.
That shall not be made manifest.
Right, that will not be made manifest. And the Lord is using us to do the manifestation of everything here on the planet Earth, man. Storm with the so-called white man. Why? Because we, those proverbial lamps, a light was created in effort to shed understanding on things in the dark. You know, if you come in your house, and it could be dirt in the corners, in the crevice, in the cut. Hey, if the light off, then nobody know, you know. But if you turn the light on, what's going to happen is going to expose the dirt, you know, or the trash. That's what the light is for. The light is meant for you to see things that's in the dark. So Esau, he's comfortable with dealing behind that shroud of deception, man. You know, that cloud of confusion and darkness. Case in point. Why the hell you don't know who ruled the world? Why you thought it was the president? Because if they was doing the right thing, they'd come out and say, hey, we the bankers and we rule the world. All right? Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Yep, and anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. And that's what we come in at. All right? We're exposing this man. And that's why he's looking to monitor videos. You know, he's looking to compromise. That's why a certain channel, that's why my main channel down right now, man. You know? And other brothers' channel, and the channel before that, the previous channel just suspended all together, man. And meanwhile, you got videos dedicated to twerking and shootouts and brawls, rap battles and smoking blunts, you know, to keep Jake in further derision. See? So that proves that this is affecting the so-called white man. It's true. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, this is St. John 3:19. And this is the condemnation that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil.
Yep, and woo, and go ahead, continue.
It said, for everyone that doeth evil, hate of the light.
See, and that started with the so-called white man, and in particular the elites of Esau, the chief house of the nation of Edom, man, which comes in the form of these international bankers, man. They hate the light. Why? Because their works are in the dark.
Yep.
See it? Yep, go ahead.
It says, for everyone that doeth evil, hate of the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
See, at least his deeds should be reproved. All right? Because light was set up again. Hey, if you got a spaghetti stain on your T-shirt and you're in the club and the lights off, you good. They turn the lights on, you got nobody even looking for it. It's there though.
Thank God.
All right?
And
That was it?
yeah, the other point.
All right, so now let's go back to
You want that sick Ezra again?
yep, finish that up. Then let's go to
With Nero.
yep.
Okay.
We're gonna go to the other information I sent
Somebody the woman or Nero.
the accuser. Right?
Okay, kind. Yeah, this is 2nd Ezra 6:28. It says, as for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome.
Yep.
And the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared.
Shall be declared. All right. So now with that, let's get this information. I think that was from BBC News.
Oh, that's one you want? Okay.
Right. And now what you want to do? Go down to all the way to the end.
Alright. This from BBC News.
It should be like the last paragraph, but you can go up. You can see the fine context.
Let's see.
So-
Alright.
You see what it say?
That last little paragraph.
Basically non-compliant, but you can jump up if you want to see it.
Okay, kind. Let's see.
Start right there. Detroit.
Alright. There's this from BBC. It says.
All right, this from BBC. Read the headline real quick, so knock you out.
It says, coronavirus wreaks havoc in African American neighborhoods.
Read that again, man. You see these devils, man. That's nothing more than a damn, man. That's a Hollywood production, man.
Yep.
To play on the psyche of the people. Read that again, man.
It said coronavirus wreaks havoc in African American neighborhoods.
I ain't seen one nigga sneeze, man, in the last 6 months. You know what I mean? But according to Esau, the coronavirus is wreaking havoc in our neighborhoods. Continue, I just jump down here.
Jump down. It says Detroit, Michigan is about 80% black, and the city together is surrounded by suburbs, accounts for around 80% of confirmed coronavirus cases.
Really? Go ahead.
It says a similar disparity has emerged in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, one of the most segregated cities in the
Now,
U.S.
you notice this is the heartland. This is the heartland. Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee. That's the middle. That's what you might call the heartland of America, right? And that's where that's like a military strategy. You would want to, start in with and branch out.
Yep.
You hit the central, the pressure point, then you branch out, right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
It says African Americans made up almost half of Milwaukee County, nearly 1,000 cases of.
Who the fuck tallying that up, man? Ain't nobody at the hospital. He saw something else, man. Go ahead.
It says African Americans made up almost half of Milwaukee's county, nearly 1,000 cases of last Friday, and 81% of its 27 deaths, despite black people accounting for 26% of the population there, according to the study of ProPublica. Man,
This came up with that shit out of thin air, man. Go ahead.
it said in hard-hit Louisiana, more than 70% of the people who have died of COVID-19 are black.
Really? Yeah, go ahead.
Despite African Americans making up 32% of the Gulf state population.
Go ahead.
Some 40% of Louisiana's coronavirus deaths have occurred in the New Orleans area, where the majority of residents are black. Devils, man.
Goddamn devil. We just won't believe. Now we're gonna get to what this devil is gonna throw in a subtle jab in the form of accusing. You're gonna see what this accusing coming in at. This Jacob and Esau beef. You're gonna see what he's gonna do, what he's always did, and that's accuse Jake. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much the last paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
It says Alderman Jason Irwin.
Who the hell is that?
Yeah.
That sounds like just somebody made up. Go ahead.
Who chairs Chicago's Council's Black Caucus.
Yeah, like we supposed to put our stock into him, like he's valid. Go ahead.
Told the Chicago Tribune that rates of non-compliance in some parts of the city with the stay-at-home orders might also be contributing to the static.
And that's the accusing. They saying, just to simplify, they're saying Jake is not complying with the stay-at-home. See these devils, man?
You see Esau running and
Now Esau running, man, with damn boxer drawers, man, sweating, jogging and shit. Esau out here, man. Hey, all the Jakes I see got a goddamn mask, man. But they say, read that again, huh?
It says, Jason Irvin, who chairs Chicago Council's Black Caucus, told the Chicago Tribune that rates of non-compliance in some parts of the city with the stay-at-home orders.
Right, rates of non-compliance. How the fuck you know, man? Who tallying that up? Who's saying, oh, you ain't in the house, or you ain't in the house, and sending this shit out, man. Man, you fucking devils, man. Go ahead.
It said it might also be contributing to the statistics.
So that's a subtle way of them accusing you. Now the reason why that's key as it concerns this sitting is we're going to go into history, which show this is how the so-called white man has always got down, man. Especially when it concerns Jake. And this gives more credence to what we brought out earlier in Revelation the 12th chapter, how this man will be the accuser of our brethren. Hey, you can't, man, this is the most powerful book on the planet Earth, man. It's giving you a play-by-play, if you will, of everything that's playing out, man. All right, come on, man.
Yeah, this is the burning of Rome, 64 AD. It says, during the night of July 18, 64 AD.
Yeah, this is back in 64 AD right here.
Fire broke out in the merchant area of the city of Rome.
Oh, in the merchant area. What is America known as? Give me, real quick, give me Ezekiel.
God.
You see how everything play together? You just got to have your antennas up. Okay?
Yeah, this is Ezekiel 17. So like Ezekiel 17 and 4. It said he cropped off the top of his young twigs and carried it into a land of traffic.
And carried it into a land of traffic. And this is a metaphor, a parable for when the so-called white man brought us over here into captivity. He carried us off into a land of traffic, which would be America. That word traffic, when you go into it, it means trade. That's why you have the World Trade Center. Everything here in America, the driving force, you know, this is the central area of business, man. Let's just put it like that. All right, go ahead.
It says, he said it in a city of merchants.
He said it well?
In a city of merchants.
So we was set in a city of merchants. So, what, you got something else?
Yeah, I got something real quick. Let's see. This is Revelation 18 and 3. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through her, through the abundance of her delicacies.
Right, so this is the city of merchants, and it attracts merchants. All right, so now read this again.
It says, during the night of July 18, 64 AD, fire broke out in the merchants area of the city of Rome. Fanned by summer winds, the flames quickly spread through the dry wooden structures of the imperial city. Soon the fire took on the life of its consuming all in its path for 6 days and 7 nights. When the conflagration finally ran its course, it left 70% of the city in smoldering ruins.
Right, so 70% of Rome was burnt up, man. Okay? Now, go ahead.
It said a rumor soon arose accusing the Emperor Nero of ordering the torching of the city and standing on the summit of the Palatine, playing his lyre as flames devoured the world around him.
Right, so this guy Nero was responsible for burning down Rome. And this was what you would consider, in the modern sense of the word, a false flag, so to speak. It was just like information came out how it was America behind the Twin Towers, you know?
Yep.
Go ahead.
It says, these rumors have never been confirmed. In fact, Nero rushed to Rome from his palace in Antium and ran about the city all that first night without his guards, directing efforts to quell the blaze. It says, but the rumors persist, and the emperor looked for a scapegoat.
Right, so the emperor was looking for someone to accuse, someone to blame, right? Go ahead.
He found it in the Christians.
He found it in the Christians. Now, when you go into the true sense of the word Christians, in the Hebrew, it would be Mashiachim, which means anointed ones, which means Israelites, man. So it's the same thing playing out now. These devils that committed a false flag, they put out the coronavirus. Now you got people questioning them about it.
Yep.
Oh, what's up with you guys? Y'all behind? What's up?
Yep.
Now they looking for a scapegoat once again, and they blaming the Christians, which comes in the form of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Read that again. Huh?
It says, he found it in the Christians. At that time, a rather obscure religious sect with a small following in the city.
Yeah, and they're going to ultimately blame us.
Yep.
Read that again.
It says he found it in the Christians at that time, a rather obscure religious sect with a small following in the city.
Yep.
To appease the masses, Nero literally had his victims fed to the lions during giant spectacles held in the city's remaining amphitheater.
See that? And that was a form of the torture. And now in the modern times, they actually got Guantanamo Bay. They got different places set up where they got these torturing devices. They actually got guillotines. These high-fishing guillotines that can kill off a fast rate of people. All right, go ahead, continue. This you got a precept.
Oh, no, I ain't got none yet. It says, from the ashes of the fire rose a more spectacular Rome, a city made of marble and stone with wide streets, pedestrian arcades, and ample supplies of water to quell any future blaze. The debris from the fire was used to fill the malaria-ridden marshes that had plagued the city for generations. Let's see. It says, now started the most terrible and destructive fire which Rome had ever
I think you skipped something where it said the sect of Christians are going to go back to that part that said the sect of Christians are read that.
Okay, kind. It says, he founded in the Christians at that time a rather obscure religious sect with a small following in the city. To appease the masses, Nero literally had his victims fed to the lions, giant spectacles held in the city's remaining amphitheater.
Go ahead.
It says from the ashes roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, you know what? This is a different one I had. Yeah, so, yeah, read it again, and then, read it again, and I'll find out.
Alright. It says, but the rumors, I'm going to start up a little bit. It says, but the rumors persisted, and the emperor looked for a scapegoat. He founded in the Christians, at that time, a rather obscure religious sect with a small following in the city. To appease the masses, Nero literally had his victims fed to the lions during giant spectacles held in the city's remaining amphitheater.
Right, so to appease the people, he pretty much brought charges against those teachers at that time, which right now, that's what they're going to try to do to us. They're going to try to demonize us, demonize anybody. Oh, which they got this thing now, whoever is coming out with any, what they call it? Conspiracy against the coronavirus, they're going to flag the video or take the video down. You know, or suspend your channel. You can be fined or whatever. They actually cracking down, as they say, on anybody that speak up against. Matter of fact, give me real quick while I find this. Isaiah, it's that Isaiah 59. It started like 14. Isaiah 59 started at 14. Because what we doing could be considered treason, man. You know, when you speak out against Esau, because the so-called white man, he hates correction. You know? All right, go ahead.
This Isaiah chapter 59 and 14. It said, and judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off.
Mm-hmm.
For truth is fallen in the street,
Mm-hmm.
and equity cannot enter.
Equity,
Equity cannot enter.
Yep, go ahead.
It said, yeah, truth faileth.
Truth faileth. See, meaning when you bring out this truth, nobody's gonna pat us. Nobody's exalting us for bringing out the truth. Go ahead.
He said, yeah, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey.
And he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. So that's how these devils they're gonna look at us as the target. You know, by us coming into this thing and speaking out against these devils, we have made ourselves the prey, and that's what happened back then. All right. You know what? I couldn't find that what I was looking for when it went into a real. But that was good right there. But it went more into more detailed, in depth about coming against Israel. But that right there was pretty good. But I thought it was from that source right there. It looked like the same one. If you got something, you can bring it up.
Alright, Con, this is the book of Psalms 50, and I'm going to start at verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
It says, thou givest thy mouth to evil.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they give it thy mouth to evil. And again, that goes into their laws and legislations, man. Hey, this show you how wicked the so-called white man is, man. You know, he set himself up as if he's the Most High. You notice the Most High, he got laws, you know, statutes and commandments, and if you go against him, there's going to be a penalty. Well, that's how the so-called white man like to play it. You know, he like to frame certain laws, and then if he accuse you of breaking those laws or offending them laws, then he come after you. He wage war against you. See? Devil, man. Go ahead.
It says, and thy tongue frameth deceit.
Yep, and thy tongue frameth deceit, man. And this right here, this whole idea of goddamn the coronavirus, that's the other one? That's the one I want right here.
Okay,
That's the one I want. Yep.
You don't get it.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, it says Nero.
It was more than that?
Yeah, a little bit more.
Yep, go ahead.
Verse 20, it says, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother.
Oh, Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau. You sit it and speak against your brother, man. And it's happening all over again. You see? Go ahead.
It says, thou slanderest thy own mother's son.
Thou slanderest thy own mother's son, man. All right? And I'm going to look up that word slander, but go ahead and get that.
Yeah, this is Nero persecutes the Christians 64 AD.
Mm-hmm.
It said a generation after the death of Hamashiach, Christianity had.
This the one right. Pay attention to this right here. Go ahead.
Christianity had reached Rome in the form of an obscure offshoot of Judaism, popular among the city's poor and destitute.
And that's us. We popular amongst the poor, the city's poor and destitute, right? Go ahead.
It said members of this religious sect spoke of the coming of the new kingdom
Oh,
and a new king.
Oh, read that again. Read that again.
It says members of this religious sect.
Members of this religious sect. Go ahead.
Spoke of spoke of the coming of a new kingdom.
Spoke of the coming of a new kingdom. Is that not what we doing? Is not we speaking of the coming of the kingdom? Go ahead.
And a new king.
And a new king. That happened 2,000 years ago in Rome. They spoke of a new kingdom and a new king. And when you fast forward to now, that's what we doing, man. That's the overtone of this ministry. We speaking of a new kingdom coming in. And that's a direct threat to Esau. We're going to show you that when we read on. Go ahead.
I got a quick precept.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is St. Matthew 2, and I'm going to start at 1, point at verse 3. It said, now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born king of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east.
Yeah, and that was a so-called UFO. Go ahead.
And I come to worship him. When Herod the king heard these things, his heart was troubled,
Woo.
and all Jerusalem with him.
Right, and that's what's happening now. They troubled at this message, man. Just like Herod was troubled when he heard, oh shit, a new king is coming, which those wise men was prophesying when you really go into it. They weren't just traveling and stopping through, and, you know, and then somebody spread a rumor. No, they was posted up and they was prophesying, man.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, it says, these views provoked suspicion among the Jewish authorities who rejected the group and fear among the Roman authorities.
Right, and the Roman authorities, they feared this message. Go ahead.
It says, who perceived these settlements as a threat to the empire.
See, so back then in the Roman Empire, they perceived those sentiments to be a threat, man, to their empire. The fact that you had Israelites back then teaching of a kingdom coming,
Yep.
you know, which that did happen back then, but they didn't know that this was the time. Matter of fact, let's prove that. Give me Acts 1 and 6 real quick. Because they had this gospel, but they didn't have it in its fullness. They knew that there was a kingdom coming because they knew that the Romans was over them. They was being taxed by the Romans, you know. Those same draconian laws was in play. And they was looking for the kingdom. But it wasn't at that time. Go ahead.
This Acts 1 and 6. When they therefore would come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again to the kingdom to Israel?
Right, so they thought at that time, which this was in the Roman Empire, they thought that that was the time that the kingdom was going to come. They didn't know that they were going to have to wait 2,000 more years. They're going to die, be reincarnated, and raised up here in America, the last leg of the Roman Empire.
That's it.
See? So go back here.
It says, in the summer of 64, AD, Rome suffered a terrible fire that burned for 6 days and 7 nights.
So you see the information is accurate. We just read a whole other source. Spirit had the other information come out, so you can see that it was accurate, you know? Go ahead.
It said burned for 6 days and 7 nights, consuming almost 3/4 of the city. The people accused the Emperor Nero for the devastation, claiming he set the fire for his own amusement in order to deflect these accusations.
And that's what happened again. Everybody questioning the so-called white man with this coronavirus. Oh, you had this guy. I mean, it might be minuscule to a point, but this guy, I think from Yale or something, they accused him for selling the coronavirus.
kind of.
See how the same thing? Now all of a sudden, to deflect that shit from off us, it's you niggas and Latinos who got it. Go ahead.
It says
The accuser, man.
God.
All right? Hey, the scriptures is accurate in his assessment of the so-called white man, man. This is the devil, man. And we can't emphasize that enough. Go ahead.
It says, in order to deflect these accusations and placate the people, Nero laid blame for the fire on the Christians.
See that? Go ahead.
The emperor ordered the arrest of a few members.
And that's your FEMA. That's your blue list, your yellow list, and red list.
Yep.
Where they're going to arrest you, man, apprehend you, and they're going to try to take you out of your homes, which, oh, you know what? It was something else I was reading earlier. Well, it was dealing with the so-called Latinos and so-called Negroes developing the coronavirus, and they said because they live in smaller quarters, smaller homes, they can contract the disease, right? So, but that goes back to that whole WHO thing, the World Health Organization, where they saying, look, we're going to just go into your house and take you out of the house because the disease is stemming from your house. See what I'm saying? Damn devils, man. And that's what that happened back then. Read it again.
It says, in order to deflect these accusations and placate the people, Nero laid blame for the fire on the Christians.
Go ahead.
It said the emperor ordered the arrest of a few members of the sect who, under torture,
and that's what these devils planning to do again. This is a part of their DNA. That's why when we get you in the kingdom, man, we gonna fuck you up, Esau. All right, go ahead.
It says, under torture, accused others until the entire Christian populace was implicated and became fair game.
Right, so it came to a point where it was like, okay, these guys fair game, you know? Go ahead.
And became fair game for retribution.
See that? Spirit. Yeah, go ahead.
Damn. It says,
Like a movie, man.
it says, as many of the religious sect that could be found were rounded up and put to death in the most horrific manner of the amusement of the citizens of Rome. The ghastly way in which the victims were put to death aroused sympathy among many Romans, although most felt their execution was justified.
Yeah, see that? So that's the Esau. I told you, Esau, they'll throw a line there. Make it seem like some Romans felt something. You know, fuck out of here, man. It was all out war on Jake, man. And it goes back to that struggle in the womb. That goes back to that Jacob and Esau tension, man, that could never be quelled. All right? So you got some up? Give me, let's get to the humble beginnings of that. Get Genesis, the 25th chapter, the struggle in the womb. And then go from there to Ezekiel. All right?
This is Genesis 25. And I started 22. It says, and the children struggled together within her.
Right, and the children struggled together within her. Now, when you look up that word for struggle, right, it's heavy. It actually means oppress. That's one of the definitions there, to oppress. You know? So, that's what happened. We got them, they got us. It was like if you fight somebody, they get on top of you, and you get on top of them. You know, it's an all-out fight, right? In the time of King David, we had them under our foot. Then they broke that yoke. That fulfilled the prophecy in Genesis the 27th chapter, where they shall break the yoke off of their neck. Then they came back into power. Then we was over them in the time of the Byzantine Empire. You know. Then after that, then you had what? You had the Renaissance, the rebirth. The Roman Empire. And I bet you it was a pink moon then, man. Bet you it was a pink moon out, man. You know? But then they came into power, and that's where we at to this very day. But now, you see that pink moon again, rebirth. Now we about to come into power. You know? That's that struggle, that wrestle in the womb. See? Go ahead.
It says, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
Right, 2 nations, go ahead.
And 2 manner of people
Yeah, 2 manner of people. These 2 different people, man, all together, you know. Although they were technically brothers, but they was arch enemies, man. And there's no way they can coexist with one another. What you get?
Sirach that 3.
Yeah, you can get that. And give me Sirach 13 and start at 13.
Let's see,
So these 2 children struggled in the womb because there was 2 manner of people. They pretty much wasn't cut from the same cloth, if you will. There was 2 different spirits. There was 2 different entities, man. There was night and day. It was yin and yang. It was righteousness and wickedness, meaning they could never coexist together. That's why us, when we get in the kingdom, we're going to have to just eradicate. When we finally get it's like a fight. You know, you see in the movies, they fight.
Yep.
Then the good guy get him, and he got away. He put him to death, man.
Yep.
He get rid of him. You know. Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach 13 and verse 13. It says, observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. I'll continue on. It says, love the Lord all thy... Sirach 13.
To my air beast level.
You're 13, right?
Yeah, come on, Sirach 13.
Okay, come. 13. Yeah, continue.
Verse 13.
Go back to what you said, 14?
That was at 14. You go jump down to 16. According to the count of a man, flesh keeps.
No, 14.
And
then read down.
I come this Sirach 13 and 14. Love the Lord all thy life, and call upon him for thy salvation. It says, every beast loveth his like.
Right, see, every beast loveth his like. You don't see damn deers running with lions. They attract to their own. Go ahead.
It says, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Every man loveth his neighbor. Go ahead.
It says, all flesh consorteth according to Cain.
Right. So if you a damn pigeon, you with pigeons, man.
Yep.
You know? Only Esau, the so-called white man, in his confusion wanted to bring everybody together, man. Go ahead.
It says, and a man will cleave to his like.
And a man would cleave to his like. See? So this thing all about separation. We was never meant to coexist with this devil. He's your enemy. Go ahead.
It says, what fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
Right. What fellowship does have the wolf with the lamb? You don't see a lamb and a wolf kicking it. So neither shall we be in bed with Esau, man. Go ahead.
So the sinner with the godly.
And who is the sinner? Esau. Who is the godly? Israel.
Slap.
You know? Go ahead.
It says, what agreement is there between the hyena and the dog?
Yeah, what agreement is there with the hyena and the dog? None. Go ahead.
It says, and what peace between the rich and the poor?
See that? Yeah, go ahead. That was it on that?
Finish it off.
Yeah, you finish up.
Verse 19, it says, as the wild ass is in the lion's prey in the wilderness.
Yep, because an ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, and that's us. We the prey of the so-called white man. This man, he stalks us, man. He land and cut, and he sets snares and traps to hunt Jake down, man. Go ahead.
So the rich eat up the poor.
See that? So now let's go back to use it.
Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes 33. I'm going to jump up, start at 10.
Mm-hmm.
It says that all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. And much knowledge the Lord have divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted.
Right, and that's dealing with Israel. Go ahead.
And some of them have he sanctified and set near himself.
Right, again, dealing with Israel in particular, the elect. Go ahead.
But some of them have he cursed
Yeah, and that would be Esau. And that links up with Romans, the 9th chapter. Go ahead.
and brought low
And brought low. Yeah, meaning Esau is the lowest, he's the basis of all men. Go ahead.
and turned out their places.
Yep, and turned out their places. Go ahead.
As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him,
Right.
to render to him and to render to them as like of him best. Good is set against evil.
Right, good is set against evil, man. There's no a common ground with good and evil. And again, to simplify this all goes back to Jacob and Esau. That's the spirit. You know, we watching the big screen, and it just showed a clip of damn Edomites standing around Jake being hung from a tree, man. Can't make that up. Go ahead.
It says, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
And that's the fight between Jacob and Esau, man. And there's nothing you can do to curb that. And what you're witnessing right now is that fight being rekindled. Pretty much, it's like a boxing match. You know, like the fighters, they going at it, then, ding, they go back to their corner. No, in the 60s, in the 70s, 80s, and 2000s, 90s, you was in your corner. Now the Lord have hit that proverbial thing, and now it's time to go back into the ring, man. That's what's happening, man. All right? So that's why you see these devils pretty much putting you back in the crosshairs, putting you in the scope, you know? So you got more on the Genesis?
Yeah, back in the Genesis 25 and 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
And that's the prophecy right there. Esau is going to serve us, man. And Esau don't want to concede to that. Esau not just going to just take that land down. They're going to go out tooth and nail to try to keep from that happening, man. And there's going to be a lot of collateral damage, if you will, in the midst. All right, you got something up?
Okay.
Go ahead.
The second Ezra 6 in verse 7, it says, then answered I and said, when shall be the parting of the sunder of time of the times?
It's like it. I'll read that again.
It's on second Ezra 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, when shall be the parting asunder of the times?
Right, so this is the mentality of what you should have, which we have, and all Israel should have. When, what sign would be given to show the changing of the guards, the times where we will finally be raised up. But guess what has happened throughout the course of this whole thing? The 2/3, all right, which is now nothing more than an abomination in the sight of Yahweh Shema Shai, they become accustomed to being under their master, man. They develop what's known as Stockholm syndrome, man. where they have developed a certain sympathy for this fucking devil out of everything he did for you, man.
Yep.
And that even come up against us. Here it is, we trying to point them in the direction of their enemy, and they talk shit about us, man. And Jesus said, love everybody. You know, that's why when all hell break loose, it's not going to be any sympathy for you, man.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
It says, "But when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth?
Yep, go ahead.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world."
Right, so Esau is the end of the world, which that proves right now this got to be the so-called white man in rulership. You know, you got people out there saying that, yeah, this is the end of the world, right? But the Edomites or Esau is damn the Arabs or Japheth. Man, they not in power right now. The so-called white man in power, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, "And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth."
And Jacob is dealing with Israel, man. So that's that battle right there. You know, that's that combat. You know, they locked and engaged into a battle right now, man. And that struggle continues to this very day. And see, Jake is that damn old lion who have lost this fight. You know, when you read in Genesis the 49th chapter.
Yep.
You know, they have pretty much conceded. You know, but now the Lord raising us up, man, and we fight this devil spiritually, man. And this is how you beat Esau. You don't beat Esau carnally anyway. You beat him through the spirit. That's why this man all messed up. You know? So you got more on that? All right, is it? All right, come on.
All right, kind. You want me to get your point or start up on top?
Yeah, start at the top again.
All right, yeah, this is
The word we
Ezekiel.
want is perpetual.
Yeah, kind. Ezekiel 35:1 said, "Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it."
So we doing what we supposed to do, man. We supposed to prophesy against Mount Seir, which if you didn't know, Mount Seir is symbolic to Esau, the so-called white man. Okay, go ahead.
It says, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord of power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
Woo, the Lord is against you, devils. So your enterprise will not be crowned as success. Right now, they winning. You know, right now they on top, but the Lord is gonna foil their plan. Right now, everything going just the way they want it. Everybody in fear. You know, they got the dollar, everything working just right. They got everybody in their homes. But guess what? How about they like, oh, we made it through that phase. They holding their nuts, man.
Yep.
But how about Shemai Shah gonna flip the table? Go ahead.
It says, Behold, O Mount Seir, I'm against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee,
Yep, go ahead.
and I will make thee most desolate.
Right, and that's going to be ultimately what's going to happen. That's the climax to this judgment, this drama Yahweh Shemai Shah has prepared for you devils, man. You're going to be desolate, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Yep, go ahead.
It said, because thou hast...
Oh, because, just like we went into previously. If you get arrested, if you're in court, this is court. Court is in session. You get drugged into court. They don't just drag you into court for nothing. They tell you why you're in court. You get, hey man, why you locking me up? Hey, you ran the light, you know, or you had a warrant, you know, whatever. So that's the law and the justice, you know. He's going to tell you why you're left desolate. Unless you did what's known as summary execution. Look that up. And that's what Esau going to do as well.
Yep.
But they're going to bring you up on charges and put you to death right there without a trial. But see, the Lord is having a trial, man. And he's giving you the reason why you're going to be desolate. Go ahead and read that again.
It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in their time that iniquity had an end. So, this is the word perpetual.
Yeah, and we can apply that to when they chased us down and hung us and castrated us. But that's going to even spill over to now, man. These devils going to owe them up again on Jake, man. You know? But this time it's going to be more of a clash. You know, you're going to have a lot of Jakes that's going to, going to rise up as well. But for the most part, this is going to be a very troublesome time, according to the scriptures. So the scriptures say he had a perpetual hatred for us. All right, so let's look up this word perpetual.
Yeah, perpetual Strong's 8, 5769, our long. It says long duration antiquity.
Oh, read that again.
It says long duration.
Yeah, long duration, man, which dates all the way back to the struggle in the womb. That hatred ain't went nowhere, man.
Yep.
All right, you got something?
I guess Genesis. I'm gonna slay my brother when.
Yep, go ahead and get that. So this definition for this word perpetual, which the Lord had framed the hatred that Esau has for us as being perpetual, a long duration.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
This Genesis 27:41, and Esau hated Jacob.
Yep, and Esau hated Jacob, man. You see the common thread right there? So now you got to ask yourself, who was Esau and Jacob? Which is well documented, especially if you follow the teachings of Great Millstone, which is the teachings of Yahweh Shai, man. All right? It's well documented. It's been brought out and made perfectly clear that Esau, with the so-called white man, would stem from Esau, Edom, and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans would be, your progenitor would be your forefather Jacob, man. All right, go ahead.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing.
So guess what? We can tell you why the so-called white man hates you. You got so-called Negroes that don't know why the cops. Remember when the cop yoked up fat nigga, and it was a demon on him.
Yep.
That the police, he wouldn't let him go until he killed him, man.
Yep.
And Jake couldn't understand why. We know why, man. Read that again.
It's saying Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing.
Because of the blessing, man. All right, go ahead. That's the spirit right there. Go ahead.
It says, what with his father blessed him,
Which Yahweh Shai blessed us in the form of Isaac. Go ahead.
and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob.
And that spills over to this day. Like we say, their heart goes into these secret means. They trying to plot up on the way to exterminate Jacob. Hey, we often bring out the whole million, what you call it, the Georgia Guidestones, right? Man, that's an effort to do away with Israel, man. That's an old tactic, an old formula that nations been using against us. Because we always have been fruitful and multiplied, no matter what. Matter of fact, give me that real quick. Exodus 1:7. So this whole Georgia Guidestone is not really an earth population thing with this devil Bill Gates, man, that demon, right? Well, that's really an effort to do away with Israel, man. Just read Jeremiah the 31st chapter. Go ahead.
Exodus 1:7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly,
See that?
and multiplied and waxed exceedingly, and the land was filled with them.
Yep, see that? So guess what? That's why you got the Georgia Guidestones. Why all of a sudden you got this edict where you want to depopulate the earth and maintain humanity under 5.5 million, and when it's 7 billion people counting on the planet Earth? Well, we just read this because of Israel, which Israel is innumerable, man. We as the sand of the sea. Okay? You got something?
Yeah, kind. This is the book of Psalms 83 and verse 4.
Yep.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
And that's the diabolical plans, man. Of the so-called white man, as well as the other nations, those who have a seat on these, the UN Council. All right, go ahead.
It says that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So everything these devils do is an effort to cut off Jake. That's their continued struggle, man. You got to remember, it's all about the birthright, man. You think Esau just doing shit just to do it? No, man, they want to live forever. They want to be able to stake claim and lay claim and inhabit planets. They want to be able to have new bodies and live forever and have perpetual slaves, man, that they can pass down from generation to generation. They want that, man. But guess what? It was given to us, man. All right? So go back.
I got something real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Luke 21, the point of verse 22. I'm going to start at 20. It says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
Right, and that's what you see now. Jerusalem is being compassed with armies. Footage where you got them troops already up there in New York, certain places around the East Coast. And again, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So when you see troops in Chicago or the inner city, somewhere in the urban area, that's those troops surrounding Jerusalem. Read it again.
It said, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and them which are in the midst of it depart, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereunto. For these be the days of vengeance.
For these be the days of vengeance, meaning what? Esau is finally having vengeance on us for what we did. That what Yahweh said. Yahweh said that was a heavy prophecy right there. Yahweh said, look, this is going to be the days of vengeance, which that happened in 70 AD, but guess what? It's going to happen again. You know? These are going to be the days of vengeance once more, where these devils is going to take vengeance. Matter of fact, go back to Ezekiel. Because they're going to pay for trying to take vengeance on us. And the scripture going to tell you that. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ezekiel 35:5. It said, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in their time that their iniquity had an end. It said, therefore, as I live, said the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Go ahead.
It said, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, in thy hills and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword.
Read.
It says, I will make thee perpetual desolations.
Right, and that's dealing with the destruction. When the smoke clear and the dust settle, America going to be a wasteland, man. Go ahead.
I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return,
Right.
and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Right, so it's not going to be another rebirth, another renaissance with Esau. It's not going to be another, Rome, the rising of the phoenix. Go ahead, from the ashes. Go ahead.
It said, because they said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of power, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine image which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them.
See, there go that hatred again. Go ahead.
And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee.
Yeah, go ahead.
And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel.
Right, and we seeing it now, man. Goddamn, coming up with this narrative as if all of a sudden the coronavirus, Jake is going to be the springboard that's going to prepare the coronavirus out there. So who in essence is going to be the ones getting rounded up in quarantine? Jake, man. If they're the ones who's 70 and 80% of coronavirus victims, fucking devil, man. But the Lord see all of your damn tricks, man. Go ahead, up.
It says, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountain of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume.
Yeah, they think that we here, without no help, Yahweh Shema is just going to forsake us, and they're going to just have their way with us. Go ahead.
It says, thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus said the Lord of power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
Yep. All right. That's it. You got something?
Yeah, this Psalms 10 and 11. It said, he have said in his heart. Matter of fact, let me jump over on that. Psalm 10, and I start at 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor.
Yep. And privately, they sit in these meetings, Bilderberg meetings, and they come up with strategies to overthrow Jake, man. Yep, go ahead. Up.
He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net.
Yeah, and then net is America and these snares and laws that they set up that trap Jake. Go ahead.
He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, the Most High hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it.
Yep, and that's what they believe. They think the Lord have forsaken us. Go ahead.
It says, arise, O Lord, O power, lift up thine hand, forget not the humble.
Yep.
It says, wherefore doth the wicked contend the Most High? He hath said in his heart, thou wilt not require it. It says, thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief, in spite to requite it with thy hand. The poor committed himself unto thee.
Right. We not resisting you. Jake not rising up against you, man. Fucking devils. And yet you come up against Jake as if Jake threatening you. So if anything, Jake knocking each other off in these communities, man. You know? They killing each other. Go ahead.
It said, the poor committed himself unto thee. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness till thou found none.
Right, and that's dealing with you devils and your secret plans and plots and schemes and strategies, man. All right? To overthrow Jake. Go ahead.
He said, the Lord is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land.
Right. All right, you got something?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so what you brought up in the scripture where Yahushua made the prophecy, these are the days of vengeance. So this is that struggle. Now, real quick, let's get Ezekiel 25 and 12. And it's going to prove that what you're witnessing right now is nothing more than vengeance. Because see, Esau, these elites, they know who you are, man. They know that we the next rulers. They know that we pretty much supplanted them for that right to rule.
Yep.
So they got a perpetual hatred for that, man. So go ahead.
God, this is Ezekiel 25 and 12. Thus said the Lord power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance.
See, by taking vengeance, man. So everything Esau did to us was a form of vengeance. You know, Jake think that it's just random. Why they hate us? No, that's vengeance, man. From what we did to them. All right, go ahead.
And have greatly offended.
And you did greatly, you know, with all the castration, the hangings, and feeding the babies to alligators, man. Go ahead.
It says, and revenged himself upon them.
Yeah, you revenge yourself upon us, man. So now, we're in a time where we about to get the upper hand on you. All right? But guess what? While they got the upper hand on us, they're going to scratch and claw. They're going to do what they got to do. Go ahead.
It says, therefore, thus said the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Don shall fall by the sword.
Right, so the Lord is going to take down your throne, your stronghold. See, once that happens, then you ain't going to have, you're going to be naked. Once this place is destroyed, what Esau got? You're not going to be a cop that could pull you over and read you some damn law. They're going to be free game, man.
God.
And to be honest with you, they're going to be a marked man.
Yep.
All these nations going to be looking to get their hand on fucking Esau, man. All right, go ahead.
It said, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
And we're going to take them out of those holes, and we're going to take them into captivity. All right? More?
Yeah, it says, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger.
Oh, and that's heavy because the things that we're going to do to you damn devils, the Lord going to have to put the Spirit on us to do that. That's why we're going to have them new bodies, man. We can't do the shit we're going to do to Edom in these bodies. As mad as you try to get, you know, you get flared up in the spirit, man, you're not going to be able to, you're a damn vomit, man, the shit we're going to do to Esau, man. So we got to have them new bodies, man. Go ahead.
See, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger.
Yeah, you can't even fathom the anger of Yahweh by Shemel Shah. You think you angry. Go ahead.
It says, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord power. Now it says on 2, because the Lord, he only revealed certain things these Edomites have done, man.
Yeah.
There's certain things we can't even comprehend these devils have done, man.
Yeah.
So these devils going to get rewarded double, man.
Yeah.
You know? They're going to get rewarded double, you know?
That's right. Yeah. So you got something? And so with that, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash.
Double honors to the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers out there laboring in his work. You know, peace and safety to you brothers and sisters out there that subscribe to the truth. And pretty much the elect of the nation of Israel. Till the next time, Shalom.
Shalom. DTA, Abad, Babal.
Death to you. Damn so-called white people, man. Devils, man. I think y'all done seen them before. Y'all seen them?
Oh yeah.
And we was still going?
Nah, it like